Just taking this first minute or two to get set up, to settle in. And just a few little reminders about posture. Posture is super important. Not any particular posture, but using the posture to be responsive. However we position the body, however we move the body, however we hold the body, will have a great influence on the mind. And so we're trying to find a posture that is stable and steady, like a mountain. Finding that balance between being relaxed and alert. Finding that sense of poise and balance. And within the posture, we don't need to be totally still at all times. And particularly at the start here, I invite you to make any movements that might feel good. So I usually like to roll my shoulders back, maybe tilt my head side to side, change where I'm placing my hands just to get a feel for it. And then even as you come to a place of relative stillness, you're always welcome to make micro movements. Movements done slowly, mindfully, that allow you to just slightly reposition, to feel into the body, to respond to whatever the body is feeling in that moment. So I'm going to give guidance here. I'm going to offer some instructions. It's totally up to you. You can follow along exactly. You can do completely your own thing. Or you can take the instructions and just make adjustments to them so they work for you. And so I'll invite you now to come into the present moment and to notice any sounds that you can hear. Orienting yourself to your space, to the sensory field, coming into an awareness that is present and bright. You might notice the sound of my voice, the sound of other people, the sound of electronics or devices, the sound of cars. Whatever you're able to hear right now. Allow your awareness to be large, spacious. Connecting with this sense of an awareness that can hold all of these sounds. An awareness that's so vast, all of the sounds are occurring within it. And bring your attention to the sensations of the body. You might notice specific sensations, the feeling of being held or supported by the chair, cushion, floor. Perhaps also the feeling in the hands, the feeling of sitting, the sensations in the body of holding yourself up. And again, notice that there is an awareness of the body, of the whole space of the body that is holding all of these different sensory events. And see if that's possible to tune into a sense of that whole body awareness. And then bring your attention to the sensations of the breath. Noticing the breath in one location. So this could be the rise and fall of the abdomen. It could be the sensations of the breath at the edges of the nostrils. You could also stay with this whole body awareness, noticing the breath throughout the whole body. This deeper impression, the whole body breathing. And choose one of these options that works for you. And just gently bring attention to the breath. You'll probably notice that the mind gets pulled away by thoughts, sounds, sensations. No problem. Whenever you notice, try to appreciate that moment of recognition, that moment of knowing. And then gently bring your attention back to the breath, however you are choosing to observe it. Allow the body to relax. Allow the mind to settle. returning back to the breath as many times as is needed. And there's three different tools that we use here. And the first is this rope of mindfulness, placing the rope around our meditation object so that we have something to hold on to. Coming back again and again to the breath. The second tool is discernment, knowing where the mind is, knowing where the attention is, recognizing when we've gotten lost. And the third tool is curiosity, being interested in the breath, being interested in the sensations that make up your experience right now. Finding a way to be intimate with this moment of experience. Continue gently returning back, using that rope of mindfulness to come back to the breath, using discernment to know when you've gotten distracted, and bringing curiosity, intimacy to help you deepen the stability of your attention. Good. So I'm going to now offer some insight practices around interdependence, fullness, and oneness or non-duality. And so first of all, I'd like you to keep following the breath, but just wait for the next distraction to arise, particularly any thoughts. So follow the breath, but remain vigilant for the next thought that arises. Our thoughts can sometimes be subtle, so try to recognize even if the thought is quiet. It might be a comment on the meditation or some narration on your experience. It might even be saying, "Oh, I'm not having many thoughts." And that counts as a thought too. Just watching for the next thought that arises. If there's no thoughts, you can just enjoy that thoughtless, peaceful space. If you do notice a thought arising, and particularly if you can catch it at the moment it arises, try to see it clearly. What is that mental image? What is that internal voice saying? And then what I want you to consider is, where did that thought come from? Did you decide to have that thought? And if you're following the instructions, if you're meditating diligently, it's very unlikely that you decided to have a distracting thought. Not in the way we'd normally think about decisions. So where did the thought come from? And notice that thoughts come from various different causes and conditions. A thought might arise in response to a sensation. It might come out of a certain feeling in the body. It might be propelled along by craving or aversion. But thoughts are not completely isolated. Thoughts are interdependent. And this simple recognition can help us. In the practice, we don't need to blame ourselves or get frustrated when there are thoughts, because we didn't make them. We didn't decide for them to be there. We can let go of any blame, any criticism around the meditation. Now, notice the sensations of the breath again. This time, consider the different factors that go into being able to breathe. There has to be a body, and the body has to be in a certain state with all the various different systems of the body. And there also has to be air. Well, what happens if we don't have one of these elements? What if we don't have air? What if we don't have the body or one of the systems of the body? What if we don't have trees to help make the air breathable? And now consider the next breath that you take and observe it closely. And then observe the next breath, then the next breath. Noticing how each breath is unique. It's not possible for each A breath to be the same length as another one, exactly. Not possible for the breath to feel the same, to be the same temperature, the same sensation. When you look closely at any moment of experience, you can start to see that that moment appearing in exactly that way is only possible because of a vast network of causes and conditions. All the things that had to happen in a certain way to lead to that moment appearing exactly as it does. And in fact, if we were to try and trace these relations, causes, and conditions, we'd have to, in order to understand this present moment, we'd have to look at all of the different causes and conditions that go back further and further. This moment is only possible because of this body, because of your parents, because of your parents' parents, because the earth appeared in this way. And we keep tracking it back. We go all the way back to the Big Bang. something set all of this in motion, or perhaps it was already in motion. And here, the important thing for our practice is to recognize this interdependence. Nothing is isolated. Nothing is separate. Nothing stands alone. Nothing occurs in a vacuum. Said another way, everything is full of everything else. This moment is full of all the causes and conditions. This moment is interdependent. This moment is not separate. This body, these sensations, these thoughts, these feelings, they are all interdependent. They are all full of causes and conditions. And the final instruction here is to notice that the boundaries that we notice in experience are created by the mind. And these are very useful. Boundaries such as the boundary of the body, the boundary between you and someone else, the boundary of the space you're in, the boundary of an idea, of a moment, of a sensation. Very useful to think of them as separate. But really, are any of them separate? The mind is creating the boundaries. The mind is creating the separation. And just see if it's possible to open those boundaries, to feel into where the boundaries are and let them dissolve, to feel the boundary between your body and the air, that activity of breathing, and notice there are no boundaries. Opening to this fullness, opening to this unbounded wholeness, this deep, complete wholeness, complete non-separation. And now rest in this space of non-separation, being this unbounded whole. And there's nothing you need to do. Simply rest. Now, as we come out of the formal meditation, you may notice that you can keep some of that insight, keep some of that view as you start moving, looking at things, maybe even speaking,